Hi everyone, I'm Lyndall Walker, the International Prayer Director for Youth for Christ International. And I'm here today standing in the village of Herrnhut in Saxony, Germany, where 300 years ago a Moravian refugee community was founded. Right behind me is a little village of Berthelsdorf, where Count Zinzendorf was an instigator of this community, where he allowed these refugees to come and settle, and then he was a main player in seeing revival come to this community and sweep across the nations.
In 1727, Count Zinzendorf noticed there was a lot of disunity amongst the Moravian refugees, and he organized a communion service that took place at a Lutheran church nearby. It's actually just nearby. If you look at the yellow church in the distance, if you can see it. And so he brought them together and they reconciled, they apologized, forgave each other, and it was really a powerful evening, such that they've named it the Moravian Pentecost, because the Holy Spirit really moved amongst them, and it just really sparked a revival. And within 2 weeks, they covenanted together to pray, covering the whole 24 hours a day. So two people, a man and a woman, would cover every hour in intercession and prayer and worship. And this went on unbroken for over 100 years. And through that time of intercession, intimacy, getting to know God, they got to know his heart and his desire for the nations, for people who don't yet know him. Because this was before there were really missionaries being sent out by churches. It was, not really a thing back then. But this sparked the modern missions movement as they sent out many missionaries from right here in this small area of Herrnhut.
We are standing on the very hill that many of these prayer meetings took place. And some of the chief prayer warriors were actually children. An 11-year-old girl called Susan, who'd lost her mother, encountered the Holy Spirit in such an amazing way that she would pray for many hours on end. And other children then joined her. And even if you see these bushes around, it was said that children and men and women could be found lying prostrate and on their knees, weeping and crying out to God. What an amazing legacy there is in this place.
We're standing here now in what's called God's Acre. It's the cemetery where the Moravians are buried. So this is Count Zinzendorf and his family are here. And then there's a lot of other missionaries who went around the world. So it's actually from this community of approximately 500 people in Herrnhut. During the years of 1732 to 1742, some 70 missionaries had already been sent out. And Steve Addison writes that within 2 decades, the Moravians sent out more missionaries than all Protestants had sent out in the previous 200 years. So this rapid deployment of so many young missionaries around the world was remarkable. So there's one at the very end there who's, I guess a lot of people have heard of him, but maybe didn't know his name, Leonard Doher. But he's one of the first missionaries that was sent out to the West Indies. And he and his missionary partner, they linked arms on the ship as they were leaving, waving back to the people they were leaving behind, and they yelled, "May the Lamb that was slain receive the reward of his sufferings." And that was kind of the motto or battle cry of the Moravians. So this cemetery also includes some of the first converts that those missionaries reached out to, including a young orphan boy in the West Indies who they adopted and brought back here to Herrnhut. So his grave is also there. So it's a very interesting piece of history here to see these missionaries, even ones who went to Tibet, around the world from this small community that was birthed through prayer and sustained through prayer, that while those missionaries were abroad, there were always people here praying and interceding for them and for the success of their missionary endeavors.
Here we are outside of the Moravian Church in the center of Herrnhut, and next to me is the bust of Count Zinzendorf himself. Another great man of God was E.M. Bounds, who was a Methodist Episcopal minister in the 19th century in the USA. He was also a prolific writer on prayer, and one of his sayings was that praying leaders have praying followers. We are blessed in Youth for Christ to have leaders that see prayer as an important core pillar of our movement. In fact, Youth for Christ was founded and built upon prayer. In the early days, they would often have all-night prayer meetings before a youth rally, before an evangelist spoke. And with this history of praying leaders in mind, during the next 6 months, we are going to hear from our Youth for Christ international leaders about their perspectives on prayer and fasting. The Global Day of Prayer and Fasting is one of our key initiatives for Youth for Christ International, and we hope these stories inspire you not only to fast and pray for yourself on the first Monday of the month, but inspire your own communities to gather together and intercede for the lost young people of our generation. Our young people are in desperate need of an encounter with the living God, and we hope and pray that we will see many stories emerge of this in the coming year as we set ourselves to fasting and praying on the first day of the month. Thanks for listening, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you somewhere in the world in the coming year. God bless you all.